All right. Good morning. Happy days are here again. Happy soul. Happy dog. Happy dog. Happy dog. I got a dog. A happy dogga. Do you guys have a happy dogga? How about a happy soul? Right? Because that soul is in ecstasy right here, right now. How do you explain that? You don't try. You know, maybe we're trying too hard. Maybe we think we got to do. You know, the divine dweller lives 100% in you. That means God. That means the Supreme Spirit is inside of you. And we're having a tough day. And we're kind of maybe worried about something later. Oh, you've come to the right place, Narayan, Lisa, Babananda, Jennifer. You've come to the right place. We're going to start by, or I'm going to invite you all to take a moment, go within, maybe close your eyes, open up your heart, dive right into that heart space and send a little love letter to the beloved. Just send a little love letter, just from the heart. No words are necessary, right? Just a heart, a little love letter from your heart right now. We're sending you a love letter. We're sending you a love letter straight from our hearts, Lord. Straight from our hearts, Lord. There's nothing left of us but you, our beloved. There's nothing left of us but you. Only you, our love. Only you, our love. Only you, our love. Only you, our love. You're our everything. You are us. I'm your everything. I am you. You're my everything. You are me. I'm your everything. I am you. You are me. We are one. I am you. You are me. We are one. I am you. You are me. We are one. I am you. You are me. We are one. So, how does that float your heart boat this morning? Are you jumping on that love boat with me and all other God-tuned souls and all other aspiring devotees who realize that this world is just a dream? There's nothing to get worried about. There's nothing to get all upset about. There's nothing to get too anxious about. There's nothing to worry about, right? The divine indweller has you covered. The Lord knows what he and she is doing, right? It's almost like we humans think we know better. That's not us though, right? How can we know better when we absolutely are, you know, under this influence, this heavy influence? We're under the influence. Under the influence, DUI, we're living under the influence of major delusion, all right? And it's a cosmic hypnosis, which you are going to find out next week when we get into a couple verses about the cosmic hypnosis. So this is why I'm saying, let it go, let it go. Let God have a say here today. Let your heart guide you today. Let love motivate you today. Let's have a soul day. Your soul is so powerful. And by you just writing that little letter, you just open up the door for your soul to infuse you with all the power you need, all the empowerment you need today, all the joy you need today, all the everything that you need today, because you're my everything. You are me. I'm your everything. I am you. We are one. We are one, oh Lord. And there's nothing left of us but you. There's nothing here but you. This is all just a test. It's all just a test to see if you want to overcome the temptations of all the testing that God's going to do to us here as mortals, having a nightmarish experience when actuality is saying that we are immortal, having a divine experiences unending. All right, you get the rift. And welcome, Benny. Woohoo! I saw you come on, buddy. And let's make the most. I think we all need to have the most of the most flowing through our hearts, right? We need to have that everything, just filling us to the brim so we know nothing else but you, Lord, nothing else. All right. So we're going to start on verse 12 today. This is page 681. God talks to Arjuna, chapter 7. Know thou that all manifestations of sattva, which is the good element, the good guna, rajas, activity, can go either way, good or bad, or a mix of both. And tamas, evil, this is God speaking, all right? That the good, the active, and the evil emanate from me. It doesn't come from you as a limited mortal, my dears. It's not your fault. It's never been your fault. You're not guilty. You've never sinned. God put us in this position, so it's God's responsibility to help us out here. We need only to have one responsibility, and that is respond to the soul that's guiding us right now, the love that is loving us right now, the Supreme Spirit who is all over us and trying to take us and pull us back into itself and not get involved, because he isn't, she isn't, God is not involved here. That's where we're headed next. God created these gunas, but God is not in these gunas, all right? You are not in these gunas. You're just stuck here. You just believe a certain way, right? You just make choices after choice after choice after choice. You're just still creating the story of your life, right? So it's not God's responsibility except to help you realize that only him can help you. The great mesmerist, you'll see in the cosmic hypnotist, that he's a mesmerist. And if you want to get out of this spell of this Maya delusion, you've got to tune into the mesmerist and ask for a big help, his ever-loving or her ever-loving presence, okay? So all of that, all of the stuff that's going on in you emanates from God, because God is you, and you are one with that divine beloved. Though they are in me, I am not in them. You think God's in this world worried about everything that you're worried about? Huh? He knows what you're going through, but he ain't worried about it. He's just hanging in the wings, my dear, in this hopefully open door of your heart, because you took the doorknob from the inside and let him in, right? You let him in, and he's there and he's saying, can I help you? Can I help you? I know you need my help, but I'm certainly not going to go down that road. I'm not even involved in this world delusion, Maya, that I created. I'm not even in it. What does that say about you, earthlings? What does that say about your purpose today? What does that say about what is important to you today? What is going on inside of you, my dears? Huh? Today is the most important day of all your incarnations. This moment is the one that you can be in a game changer with yourself, with the mind, with whatever you think going on today or not going on today. Doesn't matter. God is you. You are one with God. We are one. You are one with that beloved. All right. So Yogananda's commentary. This always gets me. This always gets me. All good and evil dream pictures are projected by the cosmic motion picture beam. We're in a movie and you have a role to play. You're an actor. You're an actress. How is that part going? Huh? Is it a bit part? Are you playing a character that you created of your own thought forms, right? And your own choices? What kind of character are you? How does the heart feel right now? Let's keep it open. Let's keep sending love notes to God, right? Till there's nothing left of you but this desire to love more and more. Yogananda said, everything I do is with the greatest love I have in me. Everything I do is with the greatest love I have in me. So as you sit there, Babananda, Jennifer, Lisa, Narayan, Vinny, can you be there, sitting there with all your love? Because you're not doing anything right now. You're listening. You're probably sitting. You're absorbing. This is your God time. This is your soul time to get reinvested, empowered, regenerated, renewed, on fire, right? To be with the one beloved today, the only reality. Woo! Yet these illusory dream pictures made manifest by God's light. Movie. It's a light on the screen of your consciousness right now. And you can jump into the hologram of your physical body and make it like it's the most important thing in the world, right? And you can shed some tears because you're so worried that this body is going through something right now. You may have cancer, you may not have cancer. You know what? You've got the delusion bug, man. Oh man. But more importantly, you have the soul which out completely smashes to smithereens any darkness within you. So allow that soul to come forward and guide you and be with you and give you all the love that you need to be like Yogananda right now. Everything I do is with the greatest love I have in me. So these illusory dream pictures that we are in this movie, and you as an actor and an actress right now, probably overacting for sure, right? You got your own viewpoints on things, right? And then the last place we usually go is to ask God's viewpoint because we're too busy still figuring things out. We're still addicted to thinking. Whew. When I love what Ramana says, he says, complete surrender is giving up all thoughts and putting your mind and heart on the divine. You ready to just give up? Just chuck those thoughts. Just give them back to the divine. Let them just melt in the sacred fire of your heart's desire to be closer to the beloved today, right? Until there's nothing left of you as the mortal, as the ego. And there's everything in you as the divine who's doing life for you, in you, as you. Oh my God, what a dream setup. What a dream, a perfect dream setup to wake up from the dream when you realize yourself. Whoo! Right? What do I got here? Well, let's go with the commentary, or we won't get very far this morning. All right. So these illusory dream pictures made manifest by God's light do not reveal his essentiality. I love that word, essentiality. His essence. So everything that you look out at today, probably every thought you have today, is not going to reveal the essential reason why you're even in a body today. It's not out there. You're not going to find it out there. You're not going to find it through your thinking. You're only going to find it through a heart that is now ready to give itself. And what is giving itself? Give all your thoughts and throw them into the sacred fire. So you can put your whole consciousness, the essentiality of you, into the great essence of you, right? The great embrace, the great embrace. Be embraced by the great embrace. And don't ever leave that embrace, right? It's impossible. You can't ever leave the oneness, no matter how hard. Oh, you can believe it. And that will create as much misery as you need to wake up, because you'll say, I'm done. I can't take any more misery. Only two ways to wake up. One is to surrender everything you are, thoughts, desires, everything, and keep your mind on God, or to become so miserable, completely miserable, so broken, so, devastated, that you have only one place to turn, to that divine indweller who's saying, now you get it. Now you get it. Now you get it. Come with me. Come with me, little boy. Come with me, little girl. They cannot exist, these gunas of good, bad, and somewhere in between, without the underlying beam of cosmic consciousness. But spirit remains ever changeless beyond the flux of phenomena. Changeless. I wonder how many ramifications of changes we're going to have in our minds today. Ramifications of feelings that we're going to have in our heart space today. The ramification of our mood could be steady, all of it depends on a soul choice. If you make the soul choice, you can be changeless beyond the flux of all those changes of the phenomena world, of your ever changing mortality, and you can become more of that soul power of the changeless soul, the soul that is just shining so bright and is your divine friend, divine partner, divine lover, the divine Krishna, the divine Christ, the Holy Mother, the Heavenly Father, the Masters, and everything that is beautiful and eternal, because it's not worth the time of day. It's not worth a penny of your thoughts today to go after that which is impermanent and changing. Sound like this world? How many friends, loved ones have you seen go to the other side? Huh? It's earth shattering, right? It's heartbreaking until you realize, oh my God, they didn't go anywhere. They just slipped back into their essentiality. Let's go join them in the essentiality. Let's see everyone as the essential. Just bow. I bow to you. Just this little pronam thing when you see people, just this bow. I bow to the God in you. I bow to the light in you. I bow to your essentiality, same essentiality. We are one. You don't have to say anything to anyone. In fact, probably a good thing not to. The world quite ain't there yet. We haven't suffered enough, I guess, right? We haven't learned our lessons enough yet, right? But we're making some progress in those regards. Or let's just say, introspect and ask, am I making some progress here? Am I a little more steady Eddie today? Or am I still all over the joint? A man and woman may dream good, worldly, and evil dreams. Well, we certainly do. Yet discover on waking that his consciousness or her consciousness is unaffected by them. Sound familiar? You have your dreams last night, and you wake up and you realize, I'm not affected by those. I was just dreaming. Then you go on dreaming this, thinking you are awake, but you're really a dream. In a dream, you're still dreaming, right? But we think we're awake. We think this is real. We think we got to take this serious because it's serious out there, right? No, the opposite is true. It's just light filled out there, in here, everywhere. Love and light, my friends. Love and light. Similarly, a yogi on waking in cosmic consciousness, from this sleep, Lord, will you wake us? From this dream, we now must wake. From this sleep, Ma, will you wake us? From this sleep, we now must wake. We are the creator of the story of our lives. Now we must create that we are awake. We are the creator of the story of our lives. So we must create that we are awake. We are awake. We are awake. We now must create that we are awake. We are awake, right? We are awake. Help me, Lord. Help me to wake up from this dream, your dream. Help me to see that it's just a movie and it's just a dream and it's not to be taken seriously. Amen. 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 A yogi on waking in cosmic consciousness finds that the God's dream of creation through the action of the Lord's own power of cosmic delusion or Maya produces myriads of good, worldly, and evil men and women without any involvement of himself in the triple attributes of nature. So our first major point to make this morning, realization to get into me I see, intimacy with the God indweller within me, is to realize don't get involved here because the truth is not involved here the way that we are emotionally involved, that we are mentally involved, that we are physically involved, right? Every little detail of every little thing that's happening, everyone's analyzing where is the love? Impossible to feel love connection in a world that's gone so askew unless you choose against all odds, the comeback kid story that you are going to love regardless. Everything you do, you want to do it with the greatest love that you have in you. I just love when I read that in Yogananda's teachings. Everything I do with the greatest love I have within me. Though the cosmic dream does not condition the transcendental consciousness of the Lord, so the cosmic dream, all of the suffering, all of the killing, all of the death, all of the disabled things that happen, everything, is not conditioned. Though the cosmic dream does not condition the transcendental consciousness of the Lord, there's a part of you that's untouched by this dream because the Lord is you 100%, 100% divine indweller in you, your soul. This is why God is never going to leave your soul hanging out to dry. He's in that soul. That's where he's hiding, inside that soul of yours. 100%, 100%. He's hiding. That's the great surprise in the so-called crackerjack box of your body and mind and emotions. Is that soul, the surprise, right? The treat is there right within you. Though the cosmic dream does not condition the transcendental consciousness of the Lord, this cosmic dream does not condition the transcendental state of your soul. What's the difference? There is no difference. God and soul, spirit, soul, one and the same. The divine dreamer is not involved and is not affected by the three gunas that he created, that he's dreaming up, that he's projecting out here. But then Yogananda says, doesn't affect the divine dreamer, but what about us? What about us? The consciousness of the Lord, the divine dreamer, yet what of man? The cosmic display of the triple qualities undeniably affect us, on whom this dream is imposed. So not only is a dream imposed on us, but the hypnosis is imposed on us, and the effects of buying into the changes of the good, the bad, the ugly, right? Or the evil, and the mix that can happen in all of that. The whole spectrum of that. is imposed on us. Why does the Lord thus test us like this? Yogananda goes on to say, why does he test man and woman like this? Why? Why? The answer is, this is quite simple too. You know, we're getting our marching orders every time you hear wisdom, but sometimes we just don't want to march with them, right? You're getting direct, highest consciousness teachings anywhere and everywhere. Marching orders if we want to march. If we want to march, these are our marching orders. So here's another one. God knows how to remain unaffected while participating in this cosmic dream that is tainted with the binding attributes. And because he made man and woman in his image, he expects us. The Lord has some expectations. Woo. But he doesn't get upset when we don't we don't live up to our potential. Not at all. The other way, he just loves us more. He cares for us more. That's the whole difference between the soul in us and the ego in us. The ego doesn't give a damn about your feelings and your thoughts and your progression or your devolvement and anything else. It doesn't care. In fact, it just is no respecter of you, but your soul. Oh, it is. It is the one that acknowledges every little beautiful thought that comes into your head to lift up from the previous one that wasn't maybe so good, to start to change the direction from being negative to positive, right? To start to say, hey, right here, right now, am I loving you right now, Lord? With everything that I got. If I'm washing the dishes, if I'm tying my shoes, can I put all the love in that doing? If I'm walking, can I just appreciate the gift of walking, right? Can I just be in total appreciation of this gift of life and the miracle of the essentiality of everything as God presence? Wow, right? We could shift this thing completely. He made us in his image. He expects us to use his discrimination and to play his part in this cosmic dream of good and evil without being inwardly affected by it. So he made us in his image. He expects us to use the discrimination and to play our parts in this cosmic dream of good and evil without being inwardly affected by it. Boom, marching orders. Marching orders. Do you know you don't have to worry anymore? If you give back all those thoughts, surrender all those thoughts and turn to loving instead, just some loving energy, just keep writing that love letter. And until there's nothing left of you but more love and more love and more love. And that is your destiny. That is your eternity. That is the purpose of your existence right now. That is why you have created that person, that body, that personality, and your potential, or the issues that you still need to overcome, or the tests that you still need to pass, and all this is that we cannot be affected by this nightmare of being mortal. In a changing world at that. And it is a hypnotic world. It's full of tricks, but very few treats, mostly tricks that really break your heart. But then God is a great mender of heart. So you go to the mender, right? You go to the mesmerist who's putting this spell on you, baby. And you ask to take that spell away from me, Lord. I ain't gonna buy into it no more. I just want to be in wherever you are, I am. Whatever you want of me, I'll do, right? I'm all yours. When God created the Mayic dream of entangling attributes, he hoped that man and woman would use our divine free choice to resist the insidious evil influence. But somehow we've gotten unholy curious about it, right? Very unholy curious. It seems like that is what people trend to these days, is the unholy curiosity versus the holy curiosity, right? Because it takes a whole change of heart. It takes a whole change of your attitude. It takes a whole change to have a change of heart, right? Where it's not focused on anything of this this dream delusion of this movie house. Very hard to pull away from this movie house when you're right in the middle of a movie, right? You like people coming in when you're in the middle of a movie and they start talking. You say, no, no, afterwards. You're totally engrossed, and that's what happens to the mortal here. We get totally engrossed. But we want to engross our minds on the bee. Engrossed is the bee of our minds on the blue lotus feet of our divine mother. Engrossed is the bee of our mind on the blue lotus feet of our divine mother. Divine mother, our divine mother. Divine mother, our divine mother. See, the only escape from this hypnotism that we're under is to go to the mesmerist, ask for the spell to be taken away from you, and to be with him or her, the divine mother, with your heart. And that's a constant, because the moment we're not, we're in the dark. We're in the Maya. We're stuck. And if you wonder why you get depressed and why you get anxious, and because you're stuck, but we don't do anything about it. Yogananda says, it doesn't matter. I don't care what you do. I care about what you don't do. Right? Putting that will into high gear. That will to love into high gear, high operation, have it humming. So I will to love today, Lord. I will love until every soul, every star, every forsaken creature, every atom is lodged in my heart. This is words from Yogananda. I will love until every soul, every star, every forsaken creature, every atom is lodged in my heart. For in the infinite love of God, my breast of eternity is large enough to hold everything in me, everything in me. Just like the divine beloved is holding this whole crazy, dark, ever-changing, seemingly just like, what? In his great love right now. My breast of eternity is large enough to hold everything, because it's a God heart. I'm a God heart. Hold everything in me, everything in me. See, we can hold it too. We can let the dark energy, if it comes to us, let it come, but it ain't you. Let it go as fast as it comes, right? The active energy, the restless energy, it'll come in because we're bombarded by it. We're in this land of the Maya three gunas, right? We're going to get pounded by this until it gets clear to us what we need to do, and that is turn to the one beloved with all our mind, heart, strength, and soul, right? That's the only way we're going to overcome these so-called, bad influences of this Maya that God imposed on us through his aid, through his help, through our yearning for that help, to our willingness to just do anything and everything to get closer to being happy today, and more heart-filled today, and less stressed today, and less anxious today, my dears, less worried today. So we dump all of that on God. It's his responsibility, right? Our responsibility is to respond to that one beloved over and over and over again, in every thought, every feeling, every situation, every choice, everything that happens today, whether it's happening to me or to the world or whatever. We respond, and it's your Lord. It's your show. It's just a dream. It's just a dream. I'm not going to take it serious. I'm just going to love and light it, And if I'm taking myself serious, I'm going to love and light myself. If I'm taking you serious, I'm going to love and light you. If the world is going to hell in a handbasket, I'm going to love and light it. and then I'm going to be at peace. I'm going to be happy on the inside, regardless of what the world tells me is happening to me. Really, I think I'm not going to trust anything but my soul now and the divine intuition that comes from that soul. And those who just resonate with a high vibe, right? And even then, I'm going to have one eye open for the divine beloved behind that eye of someone who is a good, kind person and everything, because I only trust the one who is the most trustworthy. And that is the soul in me and the soul in you and the soul in everything and the one beloved, the eternal now loving presence, right? It's simple. It's soul, S-O-U-L, simple, right? Put every other thought, every other thing that happened immediately back into the love and light. Immediately. Don't let it hang around. Let it happen. It's called a short memory. I mean, sports athletes, of course, they play for some big bucks, right? They get big bucks. So you don't, it's not like this selfless thing to play sports, and oh, I'm such a sportsman that I really want the other team to do amazing. I'm so happy for them if they win. I'm happy if we win. If we lose, I'm fine, right? Because I don't take this as real. It's just a dream experience, Lord. The good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. Though through the storm of cosmic delusion, the Lord created soul waves in the storm of cosmic delusion, in order that he might play with them. Indeed, the little good soul waves soon returned to the safety of the Spirit's vast bosom. Oh, that song that I was singing, I will love until every soul, every star, every forsaken creature is lodged in my heart. For in the infinite love of God, my breast of eternity is large enough to hold everything in me. And then that's in the Gita. And then Yogananda is it put as a commentary. We'll get to it if they haven't already, right? In the following chapters, but we've covered a lot so far. We're in book 2, right? This is the words that he came up with in that same section that I just described. I will love until I dream in ecstasy when my heart embraces thee in all hearts. I dream in ecstasy when my heart embraces thee in all hearts. The great embrace. Just embrace every heart today. Just embrace every tree today. You don't have to go physically touch it. Embrace it with your heart that's ever enlarging, right? You can hold everything in you like God holds everything in his heart. It's the same heart. It's a God heart. You're not who you think you are, so stop thinking. Even the world entangled soul waves and the evil shackled soul waves, keeping far away from spirit by buffeting one another in the storm of delusion. That's what's happening. Most people are buffeting each other in the storm of delusion, pounded by misery, pounding themselves with misery, eventually abandon their evil inclinations and respond to the cosmic pull of the divine ocean that is ever summoning them to return to its deeps. Therefore, God may not be blamed wholly, W-H-O-L-L-Y, for the suffering that comes to those who obdurately desire to remain a part of the ever tempting cosmic delusion. I should have looked up this word. It's O-B as in boy, D as in dog, U-R-A-T-E-L-Y. Obdurately. Obdurate, I guess is the word. I don't even know if I pronounced it right, but I think you guys know the gist of what we're saying. That we really stubbornly, maybe, decide to remain a part of the ever-tempting cosmic delusion only because it's a habit, only because we just realize that I haven't really done anything to overcome this habit, and it's just too big of a project. I'm just going to keep it. I'm just going to keep it. Knowing that he is responsible for having sent men and women out into the hazards of nature, the Lord ever keeps his spirit attached to human souls. Okay, so the Lord knows what's it's up. He knows it says its delusion is beyond it. Even God shudders at the very thought of the delusion. He created. Yogananda says, he ever keeps his spirit attached to our souls, ever, always. His spirit, infinite spirit, is always our soul, always. Never leaves our soul. Never just says, screw it. He never leaves our soul, constantly pulling that soul towards him. Lest unrestrained, they persist in hurting themselves by playing too long and too violently. Lest they, unrestrained, people doing people things, doing anything they want, saying, this is my right now. And those rights are always fluctuating and changing because the mind is always changing. It's changing in a way that it's just stuck in that it can't change to the higher consciousness, the soul consciousness. It is just stuck in this lower consciousness where they persist in hurting themselves by playing too long and too violently. But that's going to then lead to, I surrender. I surrender, Lord, eventually. Hopefully, that's what we're all doing now. Complete surrender. I surrender all my thoughts about this, Lord. Whatever you're thinking now, surrender. Go into the love space. Just be in the loving. Regenerate yourself. Come on. How are you going to renew yourself? How are you going to get unstuck today from that which has kept you stuck for lifetimes and for this lifetime, and maybe even given up some hope that you're going to be able to make the changes you really want to make deep inside? You just kind of rush them aside because it's just too big of a project, seemingly. That's the ego telling you, oh no, it's just let it go. Live out your life, do what you do, don't even think about anything. Yeah, but it's, except for getting into more trouble, doing more, separating yourself even further, right? Live responsibly, respond. Live responsibly. I just wrote down in the margins here. Live responsibly, respond. God first, God first. Thoughts go back to the love light, back into the ocean of love, right? They go there, just toss them. The moment something comes in, short memory, just blew a tournament, if you're a golfer, you just struck out with bases loaded in the World Series, the 7th game, and you struck out, right? You got to have a short memory and just give that right back into the sacred fire. Or something really exciting happened and you're all, going to want to create a story around it. It goes back. Thoughts go immediately back. Don't give it a second thought. Get into that practice. If someone's suffering, if somebody just got bad diagnosis and something, and that's always going to be part of this changing world, my dears. As soon as you hear the news, give it back into the love and light. We go into such a story, such tears, just crying, just grieving, like we have something to do with this, right? That we can control this, that we didn't know it was coming. What? Prepare ye the way of the Lord. Prepare yourself, my dears, for that which is coming. The Buddha was in a small town and he came to a village and beautiful mountains with snow on it. And came to a villager and villager was commenting to him, such a beautiful place we live in. He says, yeah, but there's going to be an avalanche. The guy said, what? There hasn't been an avalanche in years and decades. He says, there's an avalanche coming straight away. And the villager, the main person of the village, the priest, whatever, said, no, sir, I don't think so. And he said, yeah, the avalanche of old age, death, disease, disappointment, heartbreak, delusion is coming. The question then, what about helpless animals that have been cast into the delusions of nature? All right, you want to know what he says about animals, my friends? Is answered by the fact that animals, having no free choice, cannot long keep themselves enmeshed, whether good or evil or active, like the sweet voiced canary, the venomous snake, the useful horse. I just saw a thing where the horse gives off some amazing heart energy. HeartMath did a test on horses. You just get around a horse and you're going to feel better. You get around a dog that's a friendly dog and you're going to feel better. You get around some water out in nature. You get around some trees. You're going to feel better, my dear. Now, the thing is, you are an immortal soul that is blissed out. You just don't know it. Could you hang out with yourself, your soul self, a little longer so that you can feel better? The dwelling indweller, just hello, he's not out there. He's inside you, as you, right? There's nothing left of me but you, Lord, right? Do you think that you could be happy if you had God awareness all the time? Do you think you could be fulfilled if you had God presence with you all the time? Do you think that you could be happy and happier if you had that? Come on, of course you do. That's why you're here. And the fact that you're here means that you are ready for this. You are ready. It's just a love call away. It's a love song away from your heart, straight from your heart. There's nothing left of me, Lord. I'm sending you a love letter. I'm sending you an SOS, Spirit, oh Spirit, help me right now. In every moment of my existence here. Otherwise, I won't be existing. I'll be an automaton, right? I'll be just stuck and just miserable because I don't know how to get unstuck, nor am I willing to get unstuck. We're born ready, says Narayan, right? So, like the sweet voiced canary, venomous snake, and useful horse, the subhuman orders are not karmically entangled by the triple modes of nature that definitely affect man. So the animals aren't affected by the triple modes. And he goes on to say, instinct bound, the canary chirps and trills. The snake, through fear, may injure a man or woman who accidentally steps on it or who tries deliberately to hurt it. After causing a man's death, a snake is not punished by evil karma, for it was unaware of the consequences of its action. It did not know that poison was introduced into its fangs by nature. You don't even know that poison was infused or introduced into your nature when you were born a little baby, right? But now you know. Now you know. This is why we come to Gita, because that which is the hardest to really swallow, and that we would not want to hear if we're just out there mixing with everyone else who's just mixing it up and just, rubbing their rough edges against each other, buffeting and really smashing each other miserably. What did he use, right? They persist in hurting themselves by playing too long and too violently, unrestrained, right? So God's pulling us back. And the animals can't be blamed. But a human murderer who, influenced by wrath, stabs his enemy to death. What? Incurs evil karma because of his or her improper use of the gift of divine free choice. A workhorse. It's funny how I just read this thing about horses and it's already mentioned the word twice today in our verse about horses. In this case, a workhorse performing its duties pleasurably or grudgingly is not subject to the law of karma because it has no free choice and is instinct bound. But a businessman or woman toiling to make money willingly or unwillingly is harnessed to the karmic effects of his actions because he has free choice either to work for God and the welfare of others and become emancipated. See, when you go off to work today and you see everyone else going off to work, I guess most people are driving to work in the business hours today, right? Or going to do something that has to do with work. How many are doing that to serve the beloved? Be in service to the one beloved without any strings attached. Whistle while they work. How many are doing that for the beloved? They either work for God and the welfare of others and become emancipated, or to work for the satisfaction of the ego and selfishness, and thus to remain in bondage to the 1,000 inexorable laws of nature. stuck and not willing to do what you need to do. It's not what you do that Yogananda says bothers me. It's what you don't do. Stuck. We can talk about it till we're blue in the face. We can hear these words till we're a little bit inspired. You know, we can make a little effort at meditation even. But it's going to take a full out surrender of those thoughts and a full out putting our heart on the divine beloved. Because with that heart will be a mind that's cloistered in that heart. So your heart mind connection completely given over to the beloved. And you must serve the beloved. You know, love, serve, and remember. Why have we come here? To love, serve, and remember. How many are going to work today? Are we doing whatever we're doing in service of the Lord? In her majesty's service, I do this for you, love. I do this for you, beloved. And you become happier and happier and less attached than ever before, right? Now you start to realize you're a soul and you can exist here as a soul and you can exist supremely happy and detached from all the stuff that would make you miserable. And you can then be kind of a shining light, a love lighthouse that can bring so much hope, so much encouragement, so much light into the dark places and into the darkened hearts of mostly everybody who's doing this because they're doing it because they think they're doing it. And they're doing it for the ego's pretty totally off-skewed reasons. A snake is impervious to its own poison, but the venom is harmful to a person who is bitten. Therefore, one's only sensible course is to not go near snakes. That's why unholy curiosity is deadly, man. This is ceaseless temptations you talked about earlier, Yogananda. Ceaseless temptations, right? Ceaseless temptations. So we're going to take a sensible course and not go near temptations, not go near snakes or to exterminate them or to find an antidote for snake bites. So you go to the practical methods, right? Of how to stay safe, how to put yourself in a position to maybe win this game of life, right? To prepare yourself for whatever it takes to win this game of life. Similarly, the poison of Maya or dream delusion does not affect God, though it is in his manifested form Prakriti. It does, however, affect all unenlightened creatures that throng the worlds of his creation. Oh, fun. Welcome to the movie house. Welcome to the hellhole, you can say. Welcome to planet Earth. However, whatever. To remember the situation, the intelligent man should remain. To remedy the situation, the intelligent man and woman should remain in good company, or at least should remove herself from evil company. Poisoned from birth by Maya. See, I told you, we came in. We're poisoned by birth by Maya. Poisoned. We should strive to meet good persons, follow virtuous ways and the guidance of a true guru, and most importantly, practice yoga. Through the cumulative efforts of meditation, we should remain ever calm and spiritually watchful. Watch, for you know not which hour your Lord doth come. Watch. There's a surprise waiting for you. Just behind that tree. There's a surprise waiting for you just behind this thinking thing that you're doing. There's a surprise waiting behind this not so good feeling in your heart. There's surprises everywhere, ongoing, eternally. And they cannot ever be extinguished. And you are them as we speak right now. They're not later, they're now. Eternal now, loving present. Those are the practical methods to neutralize the effects of delusion. Through cumulative efforts and meditation, we should remain ever calm and spiritually watchful, because those are the practical methods to neutralize the effects of delusion. Whoo, I know. I guess I could stop here, everybody. What? I want to say a little more, but maybe not. If God had not created the triple qualities that pleasurably and excitingly and painfully affect man, his cosmic dream play would be meaningless. So it is what it is. It's got to be this way. And yet we want to change everything to go the way of the ego mind, right? The way that we think. What? Throw those thoughts into the fire. Get into the love space, feel the love and light. Let God be in charge of your next thoughts about it, or the peace that you experience about it. By these triune influences, he tests his children, and by such tests, guides them. It's a test. This is all a test. It's an initiation. Didn't you know that? How are you responding? How are you doing with your initiation in this life? Oh, as if we don't pass, if we don't get it, that it's a test and initiation, we're going to have to go to inner worlds and face similar things, maybe get some insight to come back and fight even stronger, to do even better from the soul perspective and our spiritual evolvement. He tests his children, and by such tests guides them in the right use of their free choice, that after manfully and womanly and successfully playing in the stream drama, they might find their way back to him. And we're going to win this thing. He created this cosmic dream play to entertain himself and his children. Be entertained. Don't go down in the dumps where you don't even have a thought that this isn't real, right? That this is real, that in the dark is real. The dark isn't real. That delusion is just infused upon you, and that God isn't even in it. So you got to go be with God. Transcendent. This is why we call this non-involvement and transcendent consciousness, God consciousness, because that's what the tests teach us to go soul. Go soul. Okay? He created this cosmic dream play to entertain himself and his children. He never meant for it to hurt his offspring. They injure themselves by not properly playing their parts. We're not properly playing our parts, my dears. If they enact their roles intelligently, they will find happiness. There it is. Behave. Learn to behave. Sri Yukteswar said to Yogananda. That was his big thing. You're going to the West? Learn to behave. Play your roles intelligently. They will find happiness in this life and eternal bliss in the great hereafter. All right. So we have just one more little paragraph to end this verse number 12, but I'll leave it right there and we'll recap a little, because this is utterly profound. All right, so Vinny's heading out to work for the divine beloved. He's going off to serve selflessly right now. Good for you, Vinny. Have an amazing soul blessed week, everyone. Thanks, Tom. You're welcome, Vinny. And Mickey says, I'm still in hospital. Day 12 has changed my life. I want to hold on to this change. Divine Mother's provided the most caring, loving souls to care for me. There's a perfect example of what we're talking about. Mickey, we're all there. We're all loving. We're all holding the space for you. So you got more beautiful support, divine love support. All right. We're there. And thank you for sharing that, because that's an exact example of what we have for all of us. No matter how hard life gets, no matter how tragic it seems to be, whatever information we hear from anybody, right, that isn't the soul guidance, it's all going to be okay. We are unbelievably cared for. That's a great thought, Mickey. We're going to end with that. We can't top that at all. That is so beautiful. What a thank you. See? All of us, no matter who you are, what you've gone through. It seems so dark right now, maybe onward and on. But there it is. That's it. That's the soul. Always come to the rescue. always, because it is you anyway. It's not going to come because it's somewhere else. It is you already. The divine is you already. I'm sending you a love letter, dear God, straight from my heart. There's nothing left of me but only you, my love. Only you, my love. You're my everything. You are me. I'm your everything. I am you. You are me. I am you. We are one. I am you. You are me. We are one. God bless you all. Thank you, everybody. I so appreciate you coming on. It means a universe and then beyond. It means ecstasy. God bless. Be well, smile, and have the best day of your forever after. Happy ever after. All right. Love you all.